That's the road I came down right there. Came all the way down there. Nazi soldiers, 80 some years ago, were in here. And it literally changed the course of the end of the war. Done this before me, so we're just gonna... Oh, holy cow. I am in the Eifel somewhere in a back little town, but I was trying to go there. So all along this ridge, and we just came down through that really narrow canyon. It's all bunkers, and I don't know if the camera, I'll try and zoom in and drop in a little B-roll to show you, but that's old Westwall German bunkers. Like I said earlier, as the Allies were advancing, the Germans were digging in, building bunkers, the Siegfried Line, trying to stall the advance. So all along this ridge and back over there are a bunch of different bunkers, which are pretty cool. Just fascinated to see that they're still here. That was 1945. 80 some years ago or whatever it is. It's pretty incredible. All right, I am trying to get to the Hürtgen Forest now, and I have to get this bike back to the dealership by 4 o'clock, and I legitimately kind of don't know where I am. At least I have cell service, so I'm gonna figure that out real quick, and then we'll keep rolling on our little World War II tour through West Germany and very little bit of Eastern Belgium. I think actually there's a little parking spot back there, so I'm gonna go check that out and see if I can park there for a few minutes, and then maybe see if I can get a little bit closer. All right, I've stumbled upon something. This is Berg Simonskall. It's in this little town. You can see the church way up there, and it's I don't know if they're restoring it. It's barred off because it says 1643. Sadly, as you can see, it's fallen into disrepair. It's crazy how steep this valley is, and you can see why it was such a challenge. Boy, that wall is like bowed out. Such a challenge for the Allied forces as they were trying to pick their way through Germany, and then they come across something like this. High walls on one side, high walls on the other. There's supposed to be a bunker just up the path here, so I'm trying to go see if we can get a little bit closer. But this is such a cool Waldorf cafe. Such a cool little town. It'd be cool if they restored that someday, but you can tell it's like a little small fiefdom castle, not big. But there was fighting in World War II down through this valley path, and that castle was involved. And like I said, you have the German bunkers buried up into the hills on the side here, just trying to protect and really keep the Allies from advancing. All right, the bunker should just be up on the right up here pretty soon. This is the wandering around in the German forest portion of the trip. All right, well, according to the map, the bunker is there somewhere. And it looks like some other people have done this before me, so we're just gonna... Oh, holy cow. Yeah, it's right here. And look at that, look how thick it is. I'm guessing over the years, dirt has kind of washed in here. This is called Bunker 59. And frankly, this one, I think, has been converted into, it's because you can feel it, you can feel the cold air coming off of it. Probably after the war was converted into a storage facility. We'll go up the back. You know, another. Oh, look at that! You can't see, but that's a porthole. Clearly, they've gated this off so you can't go inside. But wow, just to think, a bunch of Nazi soldiers 80 some years ago were in here fighting off the Allies. That's wild to think about. Well, I'm glad this worked out. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get up here and find it. I mean, you can even see, look at the trees have fallen on the bunkers. So this isn't when I was on the bike. That one was down there farther. And I think there's like a couple dozen up here. Definitely, if you've got some time to explore, it's pretty cool to see. And this was actually a pretty easy, okay, all right. This is a very short walk from the Berg Simonskall. It's pretty easy to get to. All right, up next, what is up next? I think I'm going deeper into the Hürtgen Forest, which I don't think this is it yet. But like I said, we're right on the edge of Eifel National Park, which is on the kind of the top side of the Eifel region. And Hürtgen, there's supposed to be a war memorial there, or even a museum. So go check that out. Sadly, I don't think I'm gonna be able to eat lunch in a castle today. I'm gonna go for 2 for 3. I had back-to-back castle lunches. One other fun tidbit of information is that the Westwall, which we're walking along, and the Siegfried Line is like 630 kilometers long, and the bunker that we just saw is one of over 18,000 bunkers that they built. The level of construction, and I was watching a show on Amazon the other day about, actually it was a hunting Hitler show. It was fascinating. But the absolute construction prowess of the Germans was unbelievable. They built so many the tunnel systems that they built were wild. I had no idea. And just think about 18,000 of those bunkers, somehow hauling the cement up there, pouring it all, and then manning it with soldiers. It's crazy. Really all to protect the Rhineland, which we've been riding around for the last couple days. And this was kind of the last stop before you actually got to the Allies would get to the Rhine itself. And Cologne, like we talked about at the beginning of the video, with the tank battle and capturing that western shore of Cologne and the Rhine in that area. I think that's what makes World War II, to me, so fascinating. Is it was a world war, just the sheer size of it, and the number of countries that it spans, and it's just fascinating. And the personal side, the history of my grandpa, also kind of adds to it. So, hey, we made it back. Bike is still there. All right, cool. Hopping on the bike, like I said, Hürtgen Forest. Here we go. Yeah, just look at this map. As I'm looking, as we're going up here to the Hürtgen Forest Museum, which is not far, I'm here. Just look at all these bunker. It's crazy. And this is where all the bunkers are along this river. It's wild. All right. Only 6.1 kilometers to the museum. Let's go check it out. All right, I saw this on, so I had to pull over. This is the Walsenach German War Cemetery. You can see the cross behind me. The gate is closed, so I'm just going to be respectful and not go in. But it's kind of a wild story, and it's this continued story of the Hürtgen Forest battle. The Battle of Hürtgen Forest that we've kind of started down by those bunkers, and now we're up on top of the hill here. It was a brutal battle. You can see the terrain that we were just in coming up out of the valley. Hürtgen became kind of a joke between the Allied troops, is like Hürtgen Forest Hurts. It was a brutal battle. This cemetery was established after the battle around 1949, between 1949 and 1952. And why I say that is because a former German engineer, Julius Erasmus, personally recovered over 1,500 soldiers from the battlefields around here and buried them on this hill, that's crazy to me. That's unbelievable. So regardless of the good and the bad of the war, the fact that that guy went and found 1,500 soldiers and buried them here at this cemetery is crazy. And this battle was one of the longest and deadliest of the entire war. All right, we're going to keep going towards the museum, see if it's open. If it's not, we'll just kind of tool around and start heading back east and see what we see. Like I said, the last 2 days have just been a bit more easy. We're just kind of taking it easy and taking what the trip brings to us. All right, well, it does look like the Hürtgen Battle Museum is closed, which is too bad. But if you get a chance to come here and check it out, it's pretty small, but it's supposed to be pretty cool. And you can this is a path that you can go. I should really figure out what Wanderweg means. Wanderweg. I wonder if you can drive this or walk it. But there's like a U.S. aid station here. Just a bunch of different interesting points along this to show the Battle of Hürtgen. There's a war memorial dedicated to the soldiers and medics of the 4th Infantry Division who gave their lives during the Battle of Hürtgen Forest from November to December 1944. Presented by World War II veteran Jake Brewser, who returned 79 years later. Wow, that was not terribly long ago, probably. Basically, all the signs are in German, but you can basically get get a taste for it. Oh, I remember reading about this church. There was fighting in the church, but it was all through all these little cities in the forest. And you're gonna see here when we ride out of here, it's really twisty, and can only imagine fighting up and down these hills. Here you go. We got some vintage photos. Oh yeah, and the snow. Wild. And just towns were reduced to absolute rubble by the bombings. I can't even imagine what it was like when you have local villagers. And here's some more. Ah, it looks like that dude was in the bunker I was at. Look, I can't even imagine, look how soupy that is. And then clearly German prisoners, the medic, injured tanks. I can't even imagine, like, spring and winter. That's it. We're gonna kind of make our way out of Hürtgen Forest, and the road looks pretty twisty, which is awesome. I think I got a lot more of this Hürtgen Forest twisties, which is a great way to kind of wind down this trip. I am hungry. I'm gonna try and find a place, a decent place to grab a coffee and lunch here, and then we're gonna slowly make our way back to the Rhine. We started this trip on the Rhine. We're gonna end it on the Rhine. There's something cool that I want to show you before I got to take the bike back. So let's go hit some twisties and go find some food. Second to last gas stop here, and I am in the town of Nideggen, and I might have found a there was a I don't know if you could see on the video when we were rolling up there. I tried to point it out a few times. There's a castle up on hill. There might be a restaurant up there, so it's very close, so I gotta go check it out. Let's see if I can go 3 for 3 castle restaurants for lunch. Let's go. What is this place? Some more friends. This is crazy. I have no idea if I'm supposed to drive up here. There's other vehicles. Here's the church, and there's the castle. So that's parking. Oh, here we go. Nice. Oh no, I didn't even look. Well, I got to see another castle, which is pretty cool. This is the Berg Nideggen. I don't know. The restaurant is not open. It's not open until 6. Shoot, so close. Okay, all right, we're gonna go check it out. Go see it for ourselves. Maybe we'll get lucky. All right, I mentioned it earlier, but we are back in the Eifel region. But it is impressive. You can see it for a while, but you can see here in this aerial shot what it looks like. It says 1542, 1540. All right, that 1542 is me making up numbers because I saw it on the sign. He's delivering mail to a castle. That's pretty awesome. It actually was built in the 1100s and was a very powerful castle here in the Eifel region. Oh, look, you can see the it's pretty cool. Not really sure what's happening. It sort of looks open. Again, I'm like in a castle all by myself. Oh, there is a restaurant here. They're just not open. Holy cow, look at this. This is the, again, I'm not gonna pronounce it right, J-U-R, Jur Valley. And you can see for a long ways from up here. So the Counts of Jülich basically ruled this area from this very impressive castle. Although I still maintain I don't really know how you rule. You gotta get up and down the hill. And I'm guessing they did it on horses. And I wish the restaurant was open. Come on, guys. I'm hungry. This is another castle that was damaged extensively by the French. It was also damaged pretty heavily by some bombing in 1944 during World War II, which is interesting. I don't know if they thought maybe there were people here. You'd assume that this would kind of be another like waypoint spot like the Cologne Cathedral, because it's just so, I mean, it's just like I said, you could see it from forever. Oh, hey. I'm just gonna walk around until somebody yells at me. Whoa. I mean, look. So there you go, that's the road I came down right there. Came all the way down there. And you could see this thing from way back over there. This place is cool. I'm glad I stumbled. I'm glad I thought there was a restaurant here. I'm glad at least to see it, even if I can't eat. All right. Well, we'll walk around just a little bit farther and then back on the bike. This place had a Michelin star in 2025. It's like a legit restaurant here. And I mean, you can't argue with the setting. Be interesting to know what this whole top area used to look like, how tall that was. It looks like it. Maybe it was a grand hall, because you got the wall at the base right here, and then that on that side. Huh. And clearly you could see as we rode up here that whole, oh, there we go. Yeah, 1177 Berg. I don't know how to pronounce it, you can tell me. Nideggen? I don't know. But the whole town coming up was insane. So it's basically largely a preserved medieval town on the top of this mountain. This is really cool. I'm so glad that I decided to swing over here. They just need to have lunch. It's time for lunch, fellas. Bring the Michelin star to lunch for those of us hungry motorcycle riders that just want to eat lunches in castles. I don't think it's really that much to ask. All right, onwards. Onwards towards the Rhine. We're gonna kind of get out of the Eifel. Actually, a bunch of that wooded section earlier. Hopefully, when I edit this, I'll remember. But that was Eifel National Park. So that was cool to kind of run through there. And then now we're going to kind of wind. It'll be a little bit of highway to get over to back to the Rhine. But you know, who knows? This was a surprise. We'll see what other surprises we have. Could be several, could be none. Cloud, and I know it's rain, and it's between me and the Rhine River, and I'm trying to decide, do I pull over and put all the gear on, or am I going to skirt on the north side of it and miss it? I should stop and put on my gear, but I'm stuck in traffic. There's an accident. There's no place to pull over here on the freeways. I might just get soaked here to end this trip. All right, I found a truck stop, or just a parking lot here. So I'm gonna throw my rain gear on, because the last thing I want to do is roll into the dealership soaked to the bone, and it does not. It is dark. I looked it up on the phone quick, and it's not that big, thankfully, but it gets a little yellow in the middle. All right, here we go. Into the fray. We'll see if we get wet. Started. Kind of the same with the rain gear too. I'm back in rain gear. It hasn't like rained, but if I didn't put it on, I'd be soaked. I'm gonna end this trip with one more pretty cool World War II location that I didn't know about until I was researching the area, and so we're almost there. I'm gonna show you in just a minute. All right, here we are back at the Rhine, right where we started this whole ride. I'm mostly dry. I'm glad I put on my rain gear. I would have gotten wet. But we're gonna end this ride kind of where World War II ended. And you're like, World War II did not end at the Rhine. No, it didn't end. But you can see across here, right here, that's the Ludendorff Bridge. That's what's left of it. And then there's, it's kind of being hidden by the trees. But right here is the other side of it. So basically, how this bridge sort of ended World War II, it was Operation Lumberjack is what it was called. It's March 7th, 1945. And the 1st U.S. Army was approaching Remagen, that's where we are. Again, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. And they were surprised that this bridge was still standing. Obviously not here now, but when they rolled into town, all of the bridges were getting destroyed across the Rhine by the Germans to slow the advance of the Allies. They got here and were shocked to find that the bridge was still here, that Ludendorff Bridge was still here. It had been wired with demolition charges, but it had not been blown yet. It was damaged, and this literally changed Eisenhower's plans for what he was going to do. So they got the 6th Infantry, they got the 6th Armored Division, I think, the 1st Infantry, they got as many guys over as possible. And it literally changed the course of the end of the war. It kind of ended right here when they were able to get across the Rhine at a bridge they didn't expect to be here. Unfortunately, because of the damage that it had taken, 10 days later on March 17th, the bridge collapsed into the Rhine. And they were busy trying to fortify it. They were also building a floating bridge. And unfortunately, 28 Army engineers died when that bridge collapsed. So they must have been all on and in and around the bridge when it collapsed and plunged into the water. And for that reason, they've never rebuilt it. And now this part of the bridge over here, which I'll try and go over there in a second. I just thought this was kind of a nice spot. That's now a museum. It's called the Peace Memorial Museum. So that's it. We're ending here, like I said, at the Rhine. Started at the Rhine, ending at the Rhine. Ludendorff Bridge. Thanks for coming along on this ride. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the episodes. I feel so lucky to have been able to do this. And I'm glad my wife had a work trip to Germany that I could stow along on and come do some rides and bring you something a little bit different. Some history, some castles, and all on a brand new Teal Thunder Vivid Black Road Glide, which is a beautiful, beautiful bike, beautiful color. It's real dirty because it's been ridden through the rain twice. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. And yeah, man, I just appreciate everything. If you want to get some full tank gear, hit the link below. Support the channel however you want. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Peace out.